Good evening. Hi, Ginger and Alyssa. Thanks for being here. Kim, good evening, Kim. How are things going in Edmonton today? Hey, we have the time sync. Dan, how are you doing, Dan? I'm just looking through the chat here. Zero energy, but I'm going for sitting at the desk because I'm just tired of the recliner. Oh, Dan, so sorry. You're having to go through this. I hope it's nowhere near as bad as what I had. But anyway, I'm delighted you feel well enough to turn the computer on and look at it at least. There's Chloe and JB. Good evening to you. Great to see you. Kim, I'm doing just fine. Thanks very much. Our beautiful weather continues here. Nice and cool and dry. High temperature was 75 degrees Fahrenheit today. Humidity was only 45%. So it's just perfect. This is a long holiday weekend in New Brunswick. Monday is New Brunswick Day, so it's a holiday for all provincial employees. And I'm not sure who else it's a holiday for. I think it's just a general holiday for pretty much everybody on Monday. Oh, there goes a warbler overhead. So there are a lot of people partying tonight. I can hear a band playing way off in the distance towards Kokan. And I hear a party just across the cove. A lot of young adults, I guess I would say, screaming and shouting and loud music playing. So you're probably going to hear that. No porcupines so far tonight. For those of you, for anyone that wasn't here last night, we had porcupines giving their mating calls through pretty much the whole stream. And it was pretty bizarre sounds. Ginger found some great online sources of recordings of courting sounds of porcupines. And I don't know if she put them in the chat, if she put links in the chat last night to those or not, but anyway, that's what all the sounds were. We were a bit concerned at first. I had thoughts that it might be an animal or a bird in distress, but just the normal calls of porcupines. Great, thank you, Ginger. We want to welcome Alyssa back from her little mini vacation this week. Glad to have you back. I'll turn the light on here. Chloe, I don't know if you remember, well, maybe you're thinking, I think you're thinking the same thing I am, and they were actually two beetles. They were poplar beetles, and we wonder if they were the same species because there was quite a difference in size and shape of the elytra until one of them climbed on top of the other one. Then we realized it was a male and female of, I think it was a poplar borer. Alyssa, you remember that? Hey, we've got some moths here tonight. A few more than last night anyway. Ginger just posted a link, I think probably to porcupine calls. Yeah, that was it, Chloe. Your innocence lost, Alyssa? All right, well, I'll turn the light on here. I'll see what we can find. Quite a number of larger moths. I won't say large moths. Can start right down here with fin willow prominent. Oh my God, yeah, Alyssa, you weren't here last night. That's right, so you didn't hear the porcupines. It was amazing. Fin willow prominent, view from above, straight above. View from the side. Ugly nest caterpillar moth. We have some crickets calling tonight. I don't hear any katydids at the moment. But there's some high-pitched crickets. Here's a nice leafhopper, nicely patterned leafhopper. Where do we go next? Some kind of a cochillid moth in the genus Aethes, A-E-T-H-E-S. Common gluphisia just flew in. Oh, was there a winged ant there? There's another leafhopper there. A different pattern. There. A couple of big white spots on the side. A pug moth of some kind. Here's a yellow-collared scape moth, I believe. He flew down, he's in the light. He's inside the light here now. Anyway, we'll get a chance to see him again. See who's on the shingles here. I think that's our zigzag herpetogramma. Boy, there are a lot of people at that party across the cove. What is this? Another common gluphisia. This is the spotted grass moth that we have seen once before. Spotted grass moth. It's quite small. You can see it's about the same length as those bands of tissue are, which are bands of cloth, 11 millimeters. Here's an arched hook tip. See, there's several arched hook tips on the moth sheet tonight. There's another one there. Common Gluphisia again. Looks like rotund idia. This is a porcelain gray moth that we have seen a couple of times before. I see there's two right here, one there, and the second one right there. The common Gluphisia in between them. Down here, a little ways, we have two-lined hook tip. Two-lined hook tip and common Gluphisia and sweet fern geometer. Oh. They all flew except for the common Gluphisia. The apple just fell out of the tree. Oh, there's a, what is that? Something large flying around here. I'm not even sure if it was a moth or fish fly or what it is. Not sure where it went. It's down here somewhere. Just hang on a second, my ring blade has come loose. Back, all set. Here's a sigmoid prominent. Arched hook tip. Sweet fern geometer. Two-lined hook tip. There's a three-lined leaf roller. Another arched hook tip. big beetle. Kind of looks like a June bug. Must be some closely related species. I don't think there would be any June bugs at this time of the year. Here's a stink bug. I think this is the green and burgundy stink bug. Somebody walking, an animal I mean, walking over here somewhere, not too far away. There it is, it's a porcupine. Oh, darn. Sorry, for some reason the light washes everything out when I try to look at things that are far away. It was a porcupine. He just came out of the apple tree and walked across here through these flowers here. I think this is Queen Anne's lace, and walked around the other side of the shed here. Darn, he was in the wide open there for a while too. Sorry. Meanwhile, there's a powdered bigwing. And a green and burgundy stink bug again. This is the first night since we started streaming that I didn't bring my floodlight with me. And if I had, we could have had a nice look at that porcupine. Anyway, another night. What have we got here? Not sure. It's a carpet moth. I don't think it's a white Ulysses, but it might be. Usually white Ulysses has a break in the dark band that goes through the middle of the wings. Could be the orange spotted carpet moth again. It doesn't have any orange. Nice micro moth. Kind of a fly. Oh, that's quite a party across the cove. I don't know if you're able to hear all the voices. It's a Baltimore snout up here on the light. You can hear them, Melissa? Ginger? Sounds like a rally or rival teams at a basketball game or something. It's so loud and so many voices. A lot of hooting and hollering, yeah. You can hear them, Kim, as well? JB? Chloe? No idea what they're singing. Sigmoid prominent again. Over to the right side. This beauty is a pale metanema. I think we've seen it a couple of times. Pale metanema. M-E-T-A-N-E-M-A. Metanema. Yes, that's it. Ginger, perfect. Nice fresh one. They are a type of geometer moth. Quite large. See, it's like 35 millimeters wingspan, 1.5 inches. Oh wow, we got a new subscriber. Great, thank you so much. If that's anyone that's watching and listening. The pale metanema, this is gray spruce looper. Yes, welcome to the Moth Watch, the Moth Check. There was a large, very dark moth that just flew across the sheet. And I guess it didn't stop. Here's our Microphorus beetle. Doesn't seem to have any hitchhikers. The Great Canadian Moth Watch. Hi, Ryan. Thanks for joining us. Gosh, Ryan, I was looking through your channel earlier, and the number of subscribers you have is just rocketing. I think you're up to what, 35,000 now? It's just absolutely amazing. Congratulations. This is a dagger. Could be the American dagger. I think it probably is. And up here is a mosquito biting me. That was a lesser maple spanworm. Here it is. sure who this is here. Not sure. Seems like it's kind of washed out or faded and worn a bit. Don't really have any idea on that one. How about this? I think this is a faded, exhausted brocade. We've been seeing black banded brocade on a few nights recently. I think this might be our first exhausted brocade. Yep, that's it, Ginger. Quite small, about 13, 14 millimeters long, maybe. Ooh, what's this? Fairly large moth here. Oh, I think this is the large yellow underwing. One of the many forms of that species. Wonder if we can see the color of his underwing. There, flashing is showing us his orangish underwing with a black band out near the end. It's called large yellow underwing, even though the underwing is more orange. And there's another dagger in here. Not sure what kind this is. In the genus Acronicta, one of the many species of dagger that we have in New Brunswick. Large yellow underwing on the left. Dagger species. Another sigmoid prominent. Take a look on the shingles. Flame-shouldered dart. Hi, Nola. Welcome aboard. Nice to have you. Hello to India as well, if she's there. This is a black zigzag. And up here is I think this is sharp angled carpet. Well, thanks for saying hello, Noah. I'll give my best to India. This is a micro moth. I don't remember the name, but pretty sure it's in the genus Apotamus. Just flew off. I don't think this is the same one here. Not sure what that one is. Sorry. A lot of mosquitoes tonight, and they're all biting my face for some reason. I guess that's the only thing they can get at. Gray spruce looper. That's the pale metanema down here in the weeds. All right, take another look over on this side. Oh, that was an underwing just, oh, there it is. This is bay underwing. We saw briefly the other night. Bay underwing, the caterpillars feed on bayberry, which is common right along the coast here. Getting ready to fly. You can see it's a pretty large moth. Each one of those bands of cloth are 11 millimeters. He's about, well, he's over 50, it's about 55, 60 millimeters, which is 2¼ inches wingspan. A underwing. Settle down again. And off. And what do we have here? I think we might have a new. Is a new one? No, this is another sigmoid prominent, just worn. That's one of the cone worms in the genus Diorictria, Dioryctria, Diorictria. We have two species that are very similar here, the spruce coneworm and the evergreen coneworm. That's it, Ginger? Perfect. Here's Baltimore beside the sigmoid prominent here. Baltimore snout. This is the powdered bigwing again. I don't think we've missed this species any night that we streamed since we started. There's the ugly nest caterpillar moth. Common Gluphisia. Scientific name is Gluphisia septentrionalis. Septentrionalis, sort of like the month September with onalis at the end. And I think the word September, the meaning of the word September or septentrionalis means northern in distribution. I presume it's the same root as September, the month. Here's that beautiful fin willow prominent again. And maybe the porcelain gray again. I hear fireworks now, way off in the distance. The tattered flame-shouldered dart. There's a grass veneer of some kind down here. No, it's not. Not sure what that was. It's in the family Crambidae. That's a worn noctuid of some kind. Here's somebody new. We haven't seen this one before, and I'm afraid I'm going to draw a blank on this. It's not a very common moth, but I have seen it a few times. Darn. I'm drawing a blank on this one. It's not one that I see every year. Very distinctive pattern, so it'll be easy to put a name on it. Yeah, it has very long legs. The middle legs in particular are really long. We need sort of a AI application that will identify things for you immediately. Actually, you know, you could take a screen grab of this and post it. You don't have, actually wouldn't have to post it. You just sort of start to make a posting at iNaturalist. First thing they ask you to do is to upload the photo. And so you just upload the photo from your computer to the iNaturalist website. And the next thing they ask you to do is to name what you're uploading. And when you go to click in the name box, it offers, within 2 or 3 seconds, it offers its best guesses. And I'd say probably more than 95% of the time, with moths, their best guesses are correct, the first guess that they offer. They present a list from the most probable to the least probable, but their first guess 95% of the time is right. So if you have a photograph of a moth, anytime, you can get it identified with pretty high certainty within a couple of minutes by just going to iNaturalist and uploading your photo. Let their artificial intelligence tell you what it is. And their percentage is equally high with most insect groups. Plants, mushrooms, birds, it's like 99.5% right, their first guess, with any bird photo you have. And it doesn't have to be a nice photo. It can be a little bit out of focus. The bird or insect or whatever can be just a little bit of a dot in a big photo. No problem. It's just amazing what they have been able to do with artificial intelligence by feeding it with thousands and, well, millions and millions of images of identified organisms, and there you go. Nothing to it. Yeah, you should sign up. It's free. It's a little bit difficult to figure out how to use it the first time. It's not that user-friendly, but it's used by, you know, hundreds of thousands of people, if not more, in North America. And iNaturalist is where I have the vast majority of my insect photographs posted. I think I have around 30,000 photographs there, most of which are moths. So give it a try, just iNaturalist.org. It's always been, since it started, it's been sponsored by the California Academy of Sciences. But I think it's now co-sponsored by a number of big universities and museums. Anyway, it's a very secure site, and you can be sure it's going to be around for decades, so don't worry that it's going to fold next month. It's just growing exponentially all the time. What is this? Oh, two-lined hook tip. Here's our pale metanema down here, probably the same one. That's the buff-tip epinodia that we've seen a few times. Maybe new for Alyssa. Buff-tip epinodia. There's two ugly nest caterpillar moths together. Ginger, you got it? I think you have to register before you can post or even start a post. So if you're not registered, you won't be able to post anything, but it just takes a couple of minutes to register. Of course, it's completely free. Ginger, you've tried to get an account there 2 times and you can't. Yeah, I've heard other people say they've had trouble registering there as well. It's been so long since I registered. I've been on iNaturalist since it started, I think. And I don't remember having any trouble at the beginning, but I'll take a look at it tomorrow and see if there are several YouTube videos walking you through the process of registering at iNaturalist. So you might want to check that out. And people actually post their screens of the process of registering. This is a Nigrophorus beetle. This is the one that just has a little bit of yellow down at the end of the elytra. Yellow or orange, orangey brown. And the scientific name is Nigrophorus surinamensis, like the country Suriname, with ensis on the end, E-N-S-I-S, surinamensis. These guys, I don't think I ever see them with mites. I think this may be the mottled, not sure, I think it might be the mottled snout moth. If it is, it's a new one for us. So a close relative of the Baltimore. But I think this is the mottled snout. It's a bit worn. I'll try to remember to look it up right after the stream. Meanwhile, this one is still here. The word, for some reason, the word alfalfa just popped into my head. So that may be part of its common name, alfalfa. Okay, we'll just take a last look around here. Here's well, this is the green and burgundy stink bug. Again, not the same individual we saw before, but same species. Alfalfa is actually A-L-F-A-F-A. I'm not mistaken. That's how I've always spelled it. Quite a few lesser maple spanworms on the sheet tonight. Alyssa says alfalfa webworm moth. Does it look kind of like that? It's right here, Alyssa. I'll turn it so it'll look the same as the photos you're looking at. Alyssa says it looks a lot like the, what did you say, alfalfa webworm, was it? Alfalfa webworm. Yeah, alfalfa webworm moth. That's probably it. That's probably why the word alfalfa just sort of popped into my head. I know I've seen this a few times. Good. Good job, Alyssa. I guess you went to Moth Photographers group and searched for alfalfa. Sweet fern geometer. Always like this moth, even though it's common. Oh, you went to Google. Hard to beat Google, I guess. Actually, if you go to Moth Photographers group, they have a search box there, but it's hosted by Google. But what it does is that their search box at Moth Photographer group gives you links to species pages at Moth Photographers group first. That would be the first hit. Sigmoid prominent. We seem to be going through the same moths. It's in the genus Pochocera. I still don't know the species, but genus is Pochocera. One of the characteristics of that genus, Pochocera, is quite a large genus. Probably 15 or 20 species in New Brunswick. Is that there's sort of an indentation in the wing parallel to the outside edge of the wing, kind of in the middle of the wing. It runs parallel to the outside edge. Should have one on this side as well. Not real easy to see, but that's a good characteristic of the genus Pochocera. Just going to take a quick peek for leaf hoppers here. Don't see any. Oh, here's a tiny moth. Nice pattern. Just a bit too small. Don't recognize that one. Here's a elegant grass veneer. Excuse me. There's a leaf hopper up here. And another leafhopper, different species. There. And a moth. Oh, here's a nice moth, a micro moth of some kind. Apples are falling in the tree. Oh, there's a pretty large moth just came in and buzzed me. Bounced off the iPad. Might have been our bay underwing again. There's a yellow-collared scape moth. These have kind of replaced the Virginia tenucid moths that have disappeared in the past week or so. These are very closely related, but they're quite a bit smaller. Have less orange on the head, but still have the yellow or orange collar around the neck. Don't have the nice blue iridescence of the Virginia tenucid moth. This is the yellow-collared scape, like to escape from somewhere. Scape moth. We saw quite a few of these when we first started streaming back in June, and they disappeared. So I guess there's been this one's fresh. I guess there's a second generation of them coming out now. One final quick look over here. American dagger. It's a very, very worn, washed out banded tussock moth. Our large yellow underwing is still here. And I guess we'll call it a night with the last look at the alfalfa webworm moth. Porcelain gray. Okay, 60 minutes. We did it. Thanks everyone for being here. Really, 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 really appreciate it. Please hit the like button if you haven't done so already. And have a great rest of your night. If you have any night left. Alyssa and Ginger, thank you so much. Wonderful, wonderful job as always. I don't think I could stream without you. I'd have to play music or something. Thanks for being here, Ryan. Appreciate it. Hey, JB and Chloe. Thank you so much, as always, for being here. Really, really appreciate your support. Your cat is watching with you, Kim. Oh, it's nice. Say hello for me and have a great evening. You still have a few hours of evening left. Excuse me. Nola in India, if you're still there, thanks a lot for watching. We'll see you soon. Dan, take care of yourself. I'll see you again soon, Dan. You're welcome, Kim. Good night, everyone. See you soon. Bye-bye. There's Nola. Good night, Nola. Good night, India.